If you would like to get some more custom players in the league, you can let us know on our Discord, which is linked below, or in the comments. Just let us know what name you want for your player, keep it appropriate. If you want, you can also pick where they are from, their jersey number and position.
We begin this video with the Chicago Mob against the Phoenix Phenomenon.
Silvio Gasol would lead off in the top of the second inning.
And he hits a home run.
And that is it.
Seriously, nothing else happens in this game. Mob win.
We then get Boston facing off with Ajax.
Ajax got runners to second and third in the bottom of the second with 2 outs.
Taylor Rogers would then get walked to load the bases.
They then fail to cash in any runners, and we move on to the third inning.
Boston would get runners on first and second in the top of the third with 2 outs.
Austin Harvey reaches on an error and Blood Sweat Beards take the lead.
Ajax went down fast in the bottom half to lose this game.
Dominican Suns face off against the Minnesota Lost Patriots.
Edmundo Vasquez steals third in the bottom of the first.
Sam Valdez then strikes out, but it is only 1 out and they have a runner on third still.
Kyle Washington would be the next batter.
Eventually, he makes contact with one. Pops it up. Out.
Another out and the Lost Patriots blow a great chance to win this game.
Jovan Bryant starts off the next inning with a single.
Ulises Saluni then drives out a 2-run home run.
With 2 outs and runners on first and second, Edmundo Vasquez would single and drive in 1 run.
They wouldn't be able to tie it, however, the Suns win.
Then the Jamaica Speed play the Denver Dark Elves. We start in the bottom of the 8th.
With 2 outs, Tom Chapman Brown would get the only important hit of this long game.
Ajax Assassins play the Alabama Taters.
Ajax loads the bases with 2 outs in the top of the 5th.
Patricio Lombardi would then have a chance to drive in some runs, but would come up short.
Then in the bottom of the 5th, with 1 out and runners on first and second, Alonzo Jacques Lewis would single and drive in the game-winning run.
The next game is between the London Regulators and the St. Louis Angry Redbirds.
In the bottom of the first, the Angry Redbirds get runners to second and third. They do not score though.
In the bottom of the 3rd, they would once again get a runner to third with 2 outs.
Walter Asher hits a ground ball up the middle. Doesn't get through and the out is recorded.
With 2 outs in the top of the 6th and no runners on, Keith Brown hits a home run.
St. Louis get runners on the corners with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 6th, they do not manage to score though. Regulators win.
We then get the Sun against the Love Doctors.
Daniel Prince would lead off the bottom of the 2nd. With a walk-off home run.
Then it is Chicago playing Boston.
With a runner on second and 2 outs in the top of the 3rd, Jake Escobar would drive in the runner.
Boston would be unable to respond and the Mob win again.
Phoenix faces off with Cosby in this next one.
John Armstrong leads off the bottom of the 2nd.
Walk-off home run.
We then get Minnesota versus New York.
In the top of the 1st, with 1 out and runners on second and third, Kyle Washington singles and drives in 1 run.
The 9 wouldn't score and the Lost Patriots win this one in a single inning.
We then get the Angry Redbirds against the Speed.
With 2 outs in the bottom of the 2nd, Carlos Catalan would hit a walk-off home run.
Then the Phenomenon take on the Assassins.
2 hit batters, then a walk allowed Ajax to load the bases in the bottom of the 2nd.
Manolito Triguero would then single to walk off the game.
It is time for the Houston Love Doctors to face the Cosby Eagles.
Paul Guzman leads this game off with a double.
A Maurice Townsend single would then drive Paul Guzman in.
The next batter would hit into an out but would advance the runner to second.
A Daniel Prince single would then drive in another run.
After another single and then another out, Andre Shepard would single to bring in a 3rd run.
Cosby would not score in the bottom half and Houston is victorious.
The Lost Patriots take on the Mob.
With 2 outs in the bottom of the first, Justin Dykes hits a walk-off homer.
Then Blood Sweat Beards goes up against the Regulators.
Bo Bichette lead off with a double, and Che Beckley would drive him in for the first run of the game.
Boston would load the bases with just 1 out later this inning.
A walk allowed a second run to score.
The next batter would strike out, but then a Bo Bussey double made it 4-0.
Jean-Luc Kennedy would then reach on an error, driving in 2 more runs.
As you can probably guess, the Regulators would not come back.
Now is time for the Taters versus the Suns.
With 2 runners on and no outs in the bottom of the second, Jim Browning would double and walk off the game.
Then the Denver Dark Elves would play against the New York Nine.
New York would load the bases in the bottom of the second with only 1 out.
However, a double play would keep this game going.
In the top of the fourth, the man, Ed Annunziato, would make it to third with just 1 out.
The next 2 batters would get out and this game remains scoreless.
Geraldo Valerio leads off the bottom of the fourth with a home run to walk off for the win.
Our final game in this Small Ball TV report is Phoenix versus London.
London would load the bases in the bottom of the second with just 1 out.
A double play and this game keeps going.
In the top of the fourth, Kendall Ritter hits a 2-run homer.
The Regulators load the bases with 2 outs in the bottom half. After a walk, it is just a 1-run game.
That would not be enough though, and the Phenomenon still win.
If we were at our championship game now, it would be between the Chicago Mob and Jamaica Speed.
It is still early this season, a lot can change. Check us out next time, Smallballers, to see what does change.